Hello, I hope you're well. It's another spooky Halloweeny video from me today. So I am making a book box. This is a Silhouette Store cut file. I will link it in the description for you. And I'm using a mix of papers for this. So I actually used some rather thin black cardstock. And if I made it again, I would definitely choose a thicker one. It worked out fine because I double-sided it with the Sweet and Spooky one, the one with the stars and things on the multicoloured one that you can see there. And then this pink one, I think is from that Halloween paper pad that I was sent last year, maybe the year before. I mentioned it in the witch hat video. If you haven't already seen that, that will be linked down below as well. I think I will put all of my Halloweeny videos for this year into a playlist, so they're nice and easy to find. So I'm just putting together this cut file. I did have to go and look at the instructions for this inside piece, and because I'm using single-sided cardstock, I needed to make sure it was facing the right way so that you could see the pink on the inside. So you can see me sort of refolding things where I've done it wrong the first time. This is actually a really cool design because it makes such a sturdy box. But it's unusual, which is why I needed to go back and check that I was doing it right. So you add this sort of frame piece on the inside and then fold the outer pieces over like this. And it just makes it so much sturdier. It does work really well. I'm using a mix of wet glue and hot glue to put this together. I really do love the hot glue for ease. It's so quick, but wet glue does hold a lot better in my experience, so using a bit of both. I have also cut out some pieces in some holographic foil card you can see on the right there, and where is that card from? I want to say The Works, I think. So this is a little frame piece which I've stitched around, and that just goes on the top there to hide all of the join lines. I'm using double-sided tape for this because it's better when you've got stitching. I find that the other adhesives don't hold as well when there's that much stitching on a really thin piece. So I've used double-sided tape for this one. Pop that down, and there's our little box made. So I just need to add that inside the book. And actually you add the spine first on this one. So I'm using wet glue and then a bit of hot glue in between so it will hold nicely. Hold nice and quickly, but stay in place. So adding this spine on, and then this way when you add that book piece, like the cover, it wraps around nicely and it gives you that rounded spine, which I really like. See me getting rid of some hot glue there, some extra hot glue. Then I have these pieces, so the holographic pieces are to look like the book paper. So I've held them together in the order they will wrap around the book. And then I've gone ahead and added some stitched lines. I was doing them all symmetrical, and then I thought no book pages look like that. So I've just added some random ones as well on there. Adding some hot glue and then sticking those onto the edges. This really helps to hold that spine in place as well. So you can see here you sort of mould it to the shape of the holographic piece. Well, mine's holographic, yours might be any colour. This is another sort of brightly coloured Halloweeny thing. I think because I was using the Sweet and Spooky collection, the Doodlebug one, I used a lot more colour this year. My previous favourites has been the Hey Pumpkin, and there was another one. But they're very orange and black and traditional, so it was nice to work with something a bit different. Just gluing all of these pieces down. Now I'm sure there's a much easier way to make sure this is centred, but I basically just kept moving it until it was in the right spot and then quickly added hot glue so that it stayed there. I'm sure if I watched the tutorial properly that comes with the cut file, there's a much easier way to measure this out. But I just wanted to make sure that when you opened the book, you could see the whole frame of the box. So I did it sort of piece by piece and wrapped it around. Adding some double-sided tape on the spine. And then some wet glue, and then I just sort of rolled it so that it would take the shape of the spine, like so. Some more glue on the back here. Oh, tape apparently. Apparently I'm using a bit of both. There we go. And then we are on to stitching the extra bits, I think the matting pieces. So you can see I've got all the same for the front, the back, the inside cover and the spine. Gone ahead and stitched around the edge of those. Pastel pink is what's in my sewing machine, so that's what I've been using. In fact, now I'm on to Christmas crafting, I need to switch out probably to gold. I think I use a lot of gold stitching for Christmas time. I don't really switch the thread out for each project. I tend to sort of put something in and then that's what everything gets. So pink is quite a standard one that goes with most of the things that I create. But I think gold is good for the festive season. Adding some double-sided tape on the spine piece. I do position this slightly wrong and then I have to peel it up and stick it back down, so it sort of messes with the sticky a little bit, but it works out okay in the end. There we go, moving that. This one's quite hard to centre things, this design. It works out okay. I do consider adding something on there to sort of cover it up, but I add some hot glue and it works out okay. So just checking that the inside piece fits. These little corners, I'm not sure if you're supposed to put them on the four corners like so, but I prefer them on the outside two corners for the front and the back. So that's what I decided to do. Sticking those down with the Barely Arts glue. There we go. And then I pull out all of my bits and pieces to embellish this. So I've got the Sweet and Spooky collection on the desk, looking for just anything, any kind of inspiration, what kind of way this book is going to go. I look through the Chit Chat pieces and the, what are they called? Odds and Ends, I think they're called, the ones with all of the little people and characters as well. Sometimes, if I'm not sure what to use, I'll look at the back of the packet and sort of, it's got a bit of an overview of all of the pieces, and then I know what I'm looking for. Gives me a bit of an idea. I decided I wanted this to say spells because it's got to be a spell book at Halloween time. These stickers are from, I think they're from a Happy Mail, these ones. Because looking at the footage, I don't recognise that brand. So I'm pretty sure they're from a Happy Mail. And I've just picked out the letters for spells in silver. I want something to anchor those to the layout. So I've got this pink piece of card on my desk and I've just torn the edges with that ruler. So that's the We Are Memory Keepers tear guide ruler. And I use it so often. When I went to buy it, I was like, I'm not sure if it'll get enough use. It's probably one of my most used tools. I absolutely love it. I've stitched some glittery tulle onto the pink there, onto the pink piece. I consider using this to cover that gap, but it doesn't work. So I just smooth that back out and use it as a strip on the front to anchor those letters to the page. Gives me a bit of a base to create my cluster. Adding the letters sort of all skew-whiff and off-centred and all over the place down that left-hand side there. I spent far too much time on the placing of these. It's embarrassing how many times I moved those around. And I'm pretty sure I stuck with the first way they were anyway. But there we go, that's how they are adhered on there. Using hot glue for that. If you are enjoying this video, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a like and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos from me. It really helps the channel and I love to see all the comments and interactions from you guys on each of the videos. I had a look at these little doodle bug shape sprinkles. I think these ones are called Hilda's Pets. I love them, so I desperately wanted to use one, but it just wasn't working for me. So I have a look through the odds and ends. I look at this little vampire who is adorable, and those little clouds and bats, but again there's just something missing, something isn't quite right. So I go for this one dark Halloween night piece. I think that looks nice next to the spells. And then that little cat just works perfectly. So I've cut the bottom off so that he looks like he's sitting nicely on that stitched line. Added a staple to the one dark Halloween night, did I say? I've flipped it around now so I can't read it. But I added the staple to that piece, some foam tape, and then I'm sticking that back down on the book. I use normal tape, I believe, for the little kitty cat. I was considering adding the frog as well, but it didn't work. See, I'm just constantly trying to add those little cute doodlebug shape sprinkles on. Added some of the dots from this pack though. The colours matched lovely with this one. Trying to use that 31, so I made that for the hat, if you've seen my previous video. And it's been on my desk ever since, and it just worked perfectly in that little spot. So I thought, great, get that used up, and it looks nice on there. The 31 is a printable, and I've printed it onto shrink plastic, punched a hole and turned it into a charm. Then I decided I didn't want to use it as a charm, I was going to use it on a previous project. So I put that yellow chipboard star over where the hole was. It didn't get used, it's been on my desk, but now it has a new home. Adding lots of little gems. These ones are from the range. I love the little teeny tiny gems. Just sort of scattering those all over the place. There we go. More of these little dots. Then I still think I need something on the left where it says spells, and I'm not sure what. So I decided to pull out sequins. Sequins make everything better. So I've pulled out a bunch of sequins that match the colours on that star paper. And I just start sticking them down and clustering them all along that spells word strip. So you can see there I'm adding different little stacks of sequins, different little clusters. Got some yellow, some lilac, some pink, some of this, like, what do they call it, AB pink, iridescent pink. Just clustering them all sorts of ways along there. And I really like how that looks. I know a while back a lot of people were making little sequin clusters, and I really wanted to give it a go. And I haven't yet, so that might be something in the future. Maybe I could try some little Christmas sequin clusters as little embellishments, pre-package them or something. If you'd like to see a video like that, let me know. I could give that a go on here with you guys. Adding on some teeny tiny sequins there. The only thing with layouts like this is it takes a long time. So I'm individually sticking down each of the sequins. It's not a quick process, this one. I hope you are enjoying all of the Halloween videos. Like I said, I'll try and turn them into a little playlist for you. So if you are still Halloween crafting, because I know a few people are, and I'm always behind. I'm always one of the last people stuck on whatever holiday came previously. You can pop that on in the background and craft along with me. That's my favourite thing to do when I'm crafting, is put on some videos. Feel like I'm crafting with a friend. Adding these little pearls on here, so these ones are from the works. I've used those a lot this Halloween season actually. They've got some really great colours, so they've got the gold and silver metallic, and then like a gem version of each one as well, which looks really sweet. Adding some little gem stars on here. Again, I think there's something that was on my desk and I thought I'd use them up. Try and add another little yellow chipboard star. to balance out the one at the top there. But I can't find a spot, so I decide to add something on the spine. I have a look at these tassels and I end up with a really pretty purple one. I do consider stacking a couple, but I come across, there it is, that purple one. Again, I think I was sent in a swap and I thought it's just perfect. So I get some charms out that match that. I've got a purple hat with some little silver stars, that black globe full of black stars, and then a little purple bell. They don't all make it, but I've also grabbed a safety pin. I was planning to make a little safety pin charm, and I'll show you how I do that in a second. So I decide to hot glue that tassel on there. Then I turn this safety pin into a little beaded charm. So ignore me adding the hat on, that changes. So don't pay any attention to that, that changes shortly. Adding a little pink bow to cover the hot glue where I've added that tassel. Grab out these beads, so it spells boo. I don't have many letter beads, so anything that I can use hearts in the place of letters is perfect. Spell out boo with that purple B, and I decide to use the pink one instead. So swap that out. They are so quick and easy to make, these little beaded paper clips. What are we talking about? Safety pins. So I've got the pink safety pin, added the beads, and closed that up around the loop that the tassel was on. Added that chipboard star to the centre of the bow, so I found a spot for that. This is where I change the hat, so I get a smaller jump ring. And I actually add it into, there's like a loop at the bottom of that safety pin. So I use that to add my jump ring and my little charm. And that's how that turns out on the edge there. And that is our little spell book complete. So I hope you have enjoyed hanging out and crafting with me today and seeing how this little book came together. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you have enjoyed the video. Click the bell icon to be notified when I post more, and I'll see you soon. Bye!